join me on my fully flex fueled Focus today. Alright, so here is my access port on the Cobb OTS and my display here. I'm going to try to do a 4th gear pull while recording so you guys can see. Alright, let me slow down and get caught up in traffic here. So a little bit here, I just wanted to show you guys my fuel trims right now. You can see on my flex gauge, I am currently at 72% ethanol. Boost gauge, I gotta change the scale a little bit. The ECU reads in what's called like KPA, and it's kind of hard to explain, so I'm not gonna go into that. But my TPS started acting up. I'm actually pretty sure of what it is because I tapped the wire at the battery junction box, the BJB. And I think the tap was kind of hard to do, so I'm gonna change that up. So you can see that the TPS has just got a lot of noise right now. Anyways, so what I wanted to talk about or show you guys really was just how the fuel trims look when I'm just cruising around town. So I'm gonna try to give these guys a little bit of space here, and I'm in 3rd gear. So as you guys can see, top of 3rd gear, car runs totally fine. It smells like complete ethanol. Oh, and I'm sure people are gonna ask, but I accidentally messed up the O2 sensor harness when I went to go unplug it to investigate the TPS when I noticed it was acting up this morning. The port controller is actually sitting right on top of the fuse box, and when I went to go pull it, the wires ended up right on the downpipe, and then it melted it, so I kind of screwed that up. So wideband unfortunately is also not working, as you can tell. But again, like I said, I turned off closed loop functionality and the car runs totally fine, as you guys can see on E72 or E73 there. Alrighty, so as you guys can see, the gas light is on. I've gotten about 240 miles on this tank of E73, but unfortunately I'm in the position where ethanol is not close around to me. So I'm going to put a couple of gallons of pump gas into it. Alright, so I'm not actually going to get a lot of fuel here, and the reason is that I didn't realize this gas station was 91 only, but I've only got 28 miles until I'm empty, so I'm going to get a couple gallons of 91. So I ended up getting 3 gallons of 91. Now I do want to say, before we go any further forward, the fuel mileage that I ended up getting on E85 is actually 245 miles to the tank. So now we're going to so this is still E73, and that's just because that's what's in the flex fuel sensor in the fuel rail. So I'll drive around for a little bit here, and then it should go down. So as you can see, from E73, it's currently dropping. I've probably made a mile down the road, so we're gonna let it just drop and see where it settles at. Fuel trims are starting to change a little bit more, which is as anticipated. So still pretty on point though, I think. So everything looks like it's working good so far. All right, so now we're starting to settle down to nope, still dropping. So the controller is making changes live, even with the O2 sensor not hooked up. So it does a fuel calculation based off your ethanol content. So let's take a look at our fuel trims here. And you can see our trims are still pretty normal still. So and look, even in that short time, we're down to E50. So the factory ECU is correcting, and like I said, there is a fuel formula that the port controller is also doing as well, even with the O2 sensor not hooked up. You can see that the ethanol content has leveled out to E23, and fuel trims are looking pretty good there. So looks like, I think at this point we should be okay to do a wide open throttle run. Okay, so I've been running all my errands. As you can see, my fuel level, or my distance to empty, is pretty low again. Fuel trims on E20 are a little bit on the low side, but we're hovering on E24, So that seems pretty good to me. I'm gonna try, once I get a chance, I'll do a wide open throttle pull. Just too much traffic, but the car's running fine, as usual. So this is second gear. So as you can see, traction control came on, but more importantly, you can see that the car runs normal. There's no changes in it. So we do have to do, it seems like we need a little bit of dialing in on E24 though. Unfortunately, like, you're going to, there's a small compromise there, you know, between E10 and E80. There's going to be, you know, times where you get like really weird winds where things just don't pan out, and you know, that's just part of it. So that's actually the reason why my controller has the wideband. It's just that way you can have a little bit of correction on the controller side that's going to clean it up. But I'm actually really thoroughly happy the fact that we have 0 O2 corrections and the controller works as basically as designed. And once we get the O2 sensor back in and working, it's going to be back to tip-top shape. So thoroughly happy about that. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys the experience on it. And I probably will, I'm close to the ethanol station, so I may just get ethanol again. But like I said, the whole point was just to showcase that you can blend between fuels and have no real problems with it. Alright, so since because I am low on fuel already, and I was really close to our local ethanol pump, go ahead and top the sucker off with E85 here. Alright, just like before, now that we've changed ethanol content, the car is going to run funny, especially as you're changing fuels. And the reason is that the ethanol going into the car hasn't quite changed just yet. So it's going to run kind of goofy at first, and we're going to have to rely on the closed loop of both the stock ECU and the controller. But as you guys know, like I said, my wideband, all right, so we are back up rather to E69. Been cruising along here, so I'm gonna downshift the 4th gear and let's nail it. So as you can see, that it runs pretty normal, and that's me switching. You know, I started off this morning at E75-ish, and then went to E24, and now I'm back up to E69. And as you can see, it runs pretty normal, nothing crazy, dead reliable, and it's not even running at the full peak of what I think is optimal. You know, just as you guys know, I've said it already, the wideband O2 is not installed for the controller right now, and it still runs pretty damn good, and it would run perfect with the O2 correcting. So pretty happy with the progress that we're making so far. I don't think it's anything that's ready for actual like release just yet. There's a few bugs that need to be ironed out in my opinion, but once we get it all done, it's looking pretty promising.